The winter spectacle was meant to be flawless. Months of preparation, top-tier models, international press, and a guest list that read like a who's who of global fashion. Forrester Creations had staked its brand on the show being a triumphant statement, a declaration that no scandal, no rivalry, no internal drama could touch their legacy. The set was grand, wrapped in silver and ice blue, with sweeping lights casting glimmers on the runway like falling snow. The music hit. The first model stepped out. And then, chaos. It happened in a second. A flash. A thunderous crack. Screams. A spotlight suspended high above the stage, detached from its rigging and plummeted. It struck the lead model, Kira Lang, before she even finished her first walk. The impact was instant. By the time medics reached her, she was gone. Cameras cut. Security swarmed. Gasps turned to sobs. And the winter spectacle became a crime scene. Ridge Forrester stood frozen, numb, watching as the flashing lights of emergency responders painted the pristine runway in chaos. But even in the horror, the question was already forming in the minds of everyone present. How? Spotlights don't just fall. And within the hour, the police confirmed what some already feared: foul play. The wire suspending the spotlight had been cut. Clean. Deliberate. Detective Ramirez took over the investigation immediately. Statements were gathered. Crew members questioned. And then came the surveillance footage. Grainy, shadowed, but clear enough to make out a single figure in the lighting rig area less than 15 minutes before the incident. R.J. Forrester. No one wanted to believe it. Not Ridge. Not Brooke. Not even the usually sharp-eyed Thomas, who had his doubts about R.J.'s maturity but never questioned his character. But the facts were piling up. R.J. had no alibi for the window of time the wires were cut. His batch swipe was logged near the control panel. He claimed he'd gone to double-check the stage cues. Alone. R.J. had been involved in the technical side of the show. He'd taken a growing interest in design, but recently, he'd started shadowing the stage managers, wanting to understand every part of the process. Ridge had encouraged it. So had Brooke. But now, that curiosity had put him directly in the crosshairs of a murder investigation. Ridge tried to stay calm, to trust the system. But the media didn't wait for answers. Headlines exploded. Tragedy at Forrester. Fashion show turns deadly. Forrester's son under suspicion. Paparazzi camped outside the gates. Clients pulled back orders. Sponsors demanded explanations. Forrester's reputation, built over decades, was buckling in real time. And in boardrooms and back offices, whispers began. If R.J. did this, who else knew? Behind closed doors, Ridge was unraveling. He met with the lawyers. Spoke to security. Reviewed every piece of footage. But nothing cleared R.J. Worse, R.J. refused legal counsel at first. I didn't do anything, he kept saying. I didn't even touch the lighting rig. Someone's setting me up. But no one else was seen in that area. No prints on the wire. No tampering on the cameras. It all pointed to him. Brooke was livid. There's no way our son did this. Ridge, say something. Do something. But Ridge was trapped. He was CO. He was RJ's father. And now he had to choose which mattered more, protecting his son or preserving the company's name. Then, a new twist. One of the stage assistants, Laura, came forward quietly. She admitted she'd seen someone near the rig the day before the show, wearing a Forrester badge. A man. Not RJ. Someone older. But she didn't recognize him and assumed he was part of the expanded setup crew. When shown a spread of photos, she paused at one. Him, she said. That's him. The photo was of Mason Grant. A freelance lighting engineer with a checkered past and a short temper. He'd been fired from a different production the year before for threatening a model during a rehearsal. Security logs showed Mason had checked in during setup, but his exit wasn't recorded. His name was missing from the final show day roster, and his phone had gone dark since the night of the show. Ridge pushed the detectives. "You've got a lead now. Go after him." But Ramirez didn't back off. "We're investigating Mason." But he wasn't caught on camera the day of the incident. "Your son was. And until we find Mason or prove his involvement, RJ stays our primary suspect." Stephie flew back from Europe the moment she heard. She demanded an emergency meeting with the board and insisted the company stand behind RJ publicly. But the investors were divided. "What if he's guilty?" they asked. "What if this gets worse?" Stephie held her ground. "We're Forrester. We don't turn on our family." Behind the scenes, Ridge wasn't so sure. He visited RJ alone, late one night. "If there's anything you're not telling me, anything, I need to know now." RJ's eyes burned with tears. "Dad, I didn't do this. I swear on Mom. I swear on everything." Ridge believed him. He had to. But belief wasn't enough. Days passed. Leads stalled. Sales dropped. And finally, Ridge made the most agonizing decision of his life. He stepped down publicly, tearfully, citing the need to clear his son's name without the weight of the company compromising his judgment. "I will not let my son be a scapegoat," he said. "But I also won't let my position of power cloud the truth. Forrester deserves transparency." His resignation made headlines. Shockwaves hit the fashion world. Eric, recovering from his health crisis, was forced to return to stabilize the leadership, with Stephie taking over day-to-day operations. And in the background, the hunt for Mason continued. A week later, Mason was found, holed up in a motel in San Diego, trying to flee with forged documents. During interrogation, he cracked. He admitted to cutting the wire. But it wasn't about Kira. It wasn't about RJ. It was about revenge. Mason had applied for a permanent position at Forrester after his contract expired. He was denied. He blamed Ridge. He wanted the show to fail. "I didn't mean for anyone to die," he claimed. "I just wanted to cause a scare." The police issued a formal statement. RJ was cleared. Charges dropped. Forrester released a press memo. Ridge returned to the office, not as CEO, but as a father who had risked everything. RJ broke down in his arms. "You didn't give up on me." Ridge replied simply, "That's not what fathers do." But even in Vindication, the damage lingered. Kira's death haunted everyone. Lawsuits loomed. Clients were hesitant. And the stain of suspicion, once public, never truly faded. Still, Forrester Creations survived. Not because of glamour or legacy, but because when the lights fell and the truth fractured under pressure, a father stood between his son and the storm and refused to let it bury them both. The diagnosis came like a blade to the throat, swift, cruel, and irreversible. Stephie Forrester had been ignoring the signs for weeks. Fatigue, chest pain, dizziness, and bruises that didn't heal. She assumed it was stress again, maybe her workload at Forrester Creations or the constant pressure of holding her family together. But the test results were clear. Stage 2 lymphoma. The doctor, a calm, articulate woman named Dr. Lily Aarons, delivered the news with poised empathy. "You caught it early," she said. "There's a strong chance of recovery." But there was something about her voice, the way her gaze lingered too long on Finn when he arrived to ask questions, something that dug under Stephie's skin and refused to be ignored. From the start, Lily inserted herself into every aspect of the treatment. She was meticulous, hands-on, personally reviewing every scan, every dose, every protocol. Finn, ever the supportive husband, praised her skill and attentiveness. "She's the best," he said. "You're lucky she's on your case." But Stephie wasn't so sure. Something in her gut twisted every time Lily touched her arm too gently, every time Finn and Lily shared a glance that lasted just 1 second too long. She told herself she was paranoid. But then, during a routine checkup, Lily let something slip. "She always said you were strong," Lily muttered while adjusting Stephie's fore. "Who?" Stephie asked. But Lily didn't answer. Just smiled that thin, unreadable smile and left the room. Later that night, Stephie waited until Finn fell asleep and went through his phone, not because she didn't trust him, but because she had to know. There were no messages from Lily. Nothing suspicious. But in the photo app, buried deep in the cloud archive, she found a folder labeled Residency. Dozens of photos. Most innocent. Hospital shots. Medical notes. Group hangouts. But in several of them, there was Lily. Not as a colleague. As something more. One photo in particular froze her blood. Finn and Lily wrapped in a blanket on a beach, kissing at sunset, barefoot and lost in each other. It was dated 8 years ago. The next day, she confronted him. "Why didn't you tell me Lily was her?" Finn looked stunned, then ashamed. "I didn't know it was her at first," he said. "She changed her name after Residency. She used to be Lily Chen. I didn't put it together until you said her name last week." Stephie stared at him, disgusted. "And you didn't think I deserved to know?" "My oncologist is your ex-girlfriend." Finn insisted it was over. That it meant nothing. That Lily had moved on. But Stephie didn't believe it. She'd seen the way Lily looked at him. She recognized the hunger in her eyes. And something else, pity. Not the kind you give a sick person. The kind you give someone you're taking from. As her treatment continued, Stephie started keeping records. Subtle changes. Altered dosages. Missed labs. Delayed tests. Things that could be explained by hospital error. But they kept happening. Her energy plummeted. Her white cell count dropped faster than expected. She started losing weight rapidly and experiencing symptoms unrelated to her prescribed chemo plan. Finn blamed the disease. The stress. "Your body's in a war zone," he said. "You have to trust the process." But Stephie no longer trusted the process. Or the people behind it. Digging into Lily's background wasn't easy. Her records were sealed. But Thomas had connections in the medical world. What he found was damning. Lily had once been investigated for overprescribing sedatives to a patient she was allegedly having a relationship with. The inquiry was dropped, but the whispers followed her. After that, she transferred hospitals, changed her name, rebranded, and now she had access to Stephie's life, her body, her trust, and Finn. One night, Stephie pretended to be asleep during a home visit from Lily. She left the door slightly ajar and recorded the conversation from the hallway. What she captured shattered her world. Lily's voice, soft, intimate. "You don't have to keep pretending, Finn. She's slipping. A few more weeks and we can move forward." Finn's voice was quiet, strained. "This isn't what I signed up for. Lily, you didn't fight it either." The betrayal struck like a hammer. Finn, her husband, the father of her children, wasn't just complicit. He was in it. Maybe not from the beginning. Maybe not even fully aware. But he hadn't stopped it. He hadn't protected her. Stephie played the recording for Ridge, for Thomas, for Brooke. No one wanted to believe it. But the evidence was there. A plan. A conspiracy. Slowly poison her with over-medication. Weaken her immune system. Blame the cancer. Let nature do the rest. And when she was gone, Lily would be there. Waiting. Victorious. Stephie didn't call the police right away. She needed more. She needed Lily to confess. She arranged a meeting alone in Lily's office. Pretended to be grateful. Said she wanted to make peace. She brought a hidden recorder and laid it all out. You loved him, Stephie said. And you hated me for having him. So you decided to take everything from me. Lily didn't deny it. I gave him everything, she said. And he left. For you. For nothing. He loved me first. He'll love me again. That was enough. The recording was turned over to authorities. Finn was arrested for medical negligence and obstruction. Lily fled before she could be taken in. But Stephie wasn't done. She held a press conference against her doctor's advice. Pale, thin, barely able to stand, but determined. The real cancer, she said, was betrayal. Forrester Creations stood by her. The press erupted. Investigations launched into the hospital system, and Lily's license was permanently revoked in absentia. Her face was plastered on every news site. A fugitive. A predator. A failed thief of life and love. Finn begged for forgiveness. But Stephie gave him silence. There are wounds too deep for words, and some betrayals leave scars that chemotherapy can't reach. She focused on recovery. On her children. On taking back her life from the woman who tried to erase it piece by piece. And in her hospital room, lit only by the quiet beep of monitors and the whisper of night air, she promised herself. They took their shot. I'm still standing. And I will never let anyone write my ending but me.